Welcome to HopexPodcast. We continue to talk about being a mom, being a mother, caring, loving, showing respect, raising a child, and different experiences with life in general when somebody else is had it on. This episode also continues to talk about the love and home training, respect of how people has migrated from the inside, raising their children, their kids, how they've become a mom from a single mom experience, from a wife, from a mother. If you haven't listened to the first episode of Being a Mom, you probably want to go back and listen to it. And if not, this is also a great episode that talks about different experiences from different mothers. I personally am learning right now about the changes that I just might encounter when I have my own kids or my own children. And I hope this helps out a lot of young people, teenagers, and a lot of adults, people, the humans, race in general. I hope it helps you to understand that mothers has something that we are supposed to be grateful for. We are supposed to respect people that has made us into who we are. If your mother has taken a part in your life, or maybe your father, or your cousin, or you were adopted or not, either you were raised by anybody, know that these people that are your guardians, even your friends, could be anybody and mark something great in your life. Just don't forget to say thank you, not just to all mothers in the world, but to people that has helped you to become who you are. Because living a dream with a child or with children is life-changing for all these women. And all their stories have really inspired me to understand that life is what something that we're grateful for. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Come back again every other Thursday by 6 p.m. You can drop a voice note or send us an email if you have questions at praiseopal@yahoo.com or praiseopal@gmail.com. You can text us on any of our social media platforms. Tell your friends, adults, teens. I hope this episode helps you to understand a lot that a mother could go through with a child. I'm Praise Opal from HopexPodcast. Thank you and come back again. Today I have Miss Tamika. How are you doing today, Miss Tamika?
I am doing well.
You're just going fine? I'm fine.
Oh, good.
All right, Miss Tamika, are you married?
I am not, but I was twice.
Okay, great. So do you have any kids?
I have 3 beautiful children.
Are they boys or girls?
2 boys, 1 girl.
How old are they?
My oldest son will be 29 on the 20th. My middle son, he is deceased. He would have turned 26 this year. And my baby girl, Sierra, you might have met her. She worked here in maintenance. She just turned 25.
Well, I'm sorry about your middle daughter. Son.
That's okay. It's okay.
Okay. All right, so can you tell us the experience about being a mom?
Ooh, wonderful experience. You want the beginning or the end or the middle?
All of it.
Okay. I mean, every experience for a mom is different. So my personal experience, I started young. So it was like growing up with my kids. You know, you grow up, then you got to get to know them. Of course, they got to get to know you because they're new to the world. But being a mom is an experience you make all of your own. You don't go based on someone else's experience because it's not their child. And you don't want to inherit someone else's habits. You create your own habits when you become a mother because you never know what's good for you and your child. Every child and every individual child born is different. So always remember that. I don't know if you have kids or not.
Oh, I don't.
Okay. But if you ever do, I mean, it's good to get advice, but also, process it first before you implement it on your child, especially if you don't know if your child has allergies or whatever. You never know. So just go on your own instinct mostly. But first-time moms are always panic moms. They go off books and magazines and recordings.
So you do that too?
No.
I know. Okay.
I did not. Everything I did on my own. Experiences and everything. I always knew as a child that I wanted to have 2 boys and a girl. God gave me exactly what I wanted. And also, it's just a fun all-around experience. You just got to really learn on your own, pretty much, especially for a first-time mom. It's always a panic session for the first time.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking when I do have kids, I'll probably have to take classes.
People go to a lot of classes as well, which is good. But I mean, it's good to get advice from anywhere. But 9 times out of 10, when you have your own child, you're going to just follow your own instinct anyway. It's just a natural thing. It's just being a woman.
Tell us what you love most about your kids.
What I love most about my kids is their individual personalities, because nobody comes to you with the same thing. One tells on one tells on the other. They all protect each other. They all go against each other. You just never know what's going to happen one day to the next. Kids are funny. They're intelligent. They're funny. They're wild. They're bad in their own ways. Every child is bad in their own way. I don't really like to use the word bad. I like to use the word that I would always say. They're learning, but it's another word that I would use as opposed to learning. But they are learning. You know, you can't punish a child that's going to the socket. They don't know what it is. It's something interesting. They're going to put something in it. Don't be back, get off way, get away. No, just tell them, listen, this is dangerous. You cannot touch this, and you give them the reason why. Just because they're 1 year old or 2 years old doesn't mean they don't process. They process very well. They process more than we do.
Do you have a favorite kid?
I do not. No one should show favoritism towards their kids, ever.
My mom, right.
I'm going to whoop you. Stop it.
No, my mom told me that. Like, she doesn't have a favorite kid. Like,
all my kids are my favorites. I even have adopted children. They're all my favorites. They're all my favorites in their own way. My daughter is the only daughter that I have. Of course, she's going to be my favorite as first on the girl side of things, because I'm not a girly girl. I'm a tomboy mom. She's a girly girl. I love that about her. As opposed to my boys, they are sports driven. I'm a sports mom, so I love being into sports.
What's your
So it's just
sport?
a balance out. Football. Contact sport, baby. I love it.
I love golf.
You like golf? You know what? When I was younger, I thought golf was super boring. And then as I got older, it's funny because I played the Wii. I love golf on the Wii. That's sad, but it's true.
I really love golf a lot. A lot of my friends just tell me it's boring.
It is boring, but it's about patience. And it taught me patience for real, because I have none. But it taught me how to be patient, concentrate, focus. I like golf now. Okay. I didn't like it then.
Let's go back to your pregnancy, right? Mm-hmm. When you got pregnant with your first child, who was the first person you told?
The first person I told was my child's father, but how the story goes is my mother knew already, and I kept trying to cover it up. Kept saying I had a stomach virus or the stomach flu, anything that had to pertain to the stomach and an illness, I used it. And then one day I was coming home from school, and she just called my phone, and she was just like, I need you to stop at the hospital. And I'm like, at the hospital? I start shaking up scared. I'm all like, what's wrong? She said, you have an appointment. I'm like, an appointment for what? I'm thinking of like, oh, she gonna know. I've been trying to figure out how I'm gonna tell her, but she was like, I already know you're pregnant, so you need to go pick up your boyfriend. Tell him or have him meet you at the hospital, and when y'all are done at the hospital, you bring your ASSs here to me. I said, oh, okay, Mom, bye. And that's how I found out I was pregnant.
So you didn't know?
I kind of knew, but I kind of was in straight denial. Because I was still cheerleading. I was still dancing. Because I was on the dance team. I was on the drill team. I was too busy into my studies and focusing on being me. A baby was not the thing that was on my mind. And I was like, I had the shot. They gave you the shot. I had the shot. I had the pill. Still had babies.
Well, some babies are meant to be. Because
they are meant to be.
Right.
No matter how hard you try.
I interviewed somebody, and she actually, when she got pregnant, before she got pregnant, it was actually a plan with her boyfriend. But along the way, they didn't want the baby anymore. Within the 48 hours that they were, sexually contact each other. But then they took the pill. But it didn't work.
It didn't work.
But it was still within the period. It didn't work.
It doesn't work for everybody. It's not for everybody. That's why I say everything is not for everybody. with my first son, I'm sorry, I did not have the shot, I had the pill. With my second son, I had the neuroplant. That's when they put them 5 little thingies in your arm. And I got pregnant on that. And the shot was my daughter,
Okay.
which was crazy. Because I go in, and everybody was like, wow, you didn't have your baby yet? I'm like, baby, I already had my son. And they was like, well, you still look pregnant. I'm like, I'm not pregnant. What are you saying? I just had a kid. Go back for... Go back for the daggone 6 months, honey. They was like, Miss Smith, I don't think you would want to be taking any more shots because you're having a baby. I was like, I just had a baby. What are you talking about? They said, well, this baby is going to be coming in 5 more months. What? I was like, oh, my mother is going to kill me. I am only 21 years old.
So that was the age you had your first baby?
No, my first baby I had at 18.
18.
And then my second son I had at 21, and Sierra I had at 22.
So you were in high school when you had your first baby?
Yes, high school. Yes.
Yeah, your mom would definitely was good.
Oh, she was freaking out. You better graduate and all. That baby is not going to stop me from graduating. I do not know why girls use that as an excuse to leave school. I hate that. That's
But
no
you
excuse.
graduated.
Oh, heck yeah. I graduated and I went to college. I was pregnant in college, walking down the hall, big as heck. Going to my next class. Yeah, I was very determined. I refused to be one of them girls sitting off to the side collecting anybody's check. I'm going to collect a real check. I was not about to have food stamps coming to me or a card sitting in the mail. And I just wasn't. I didn't want to repeat that cycle for my generation, so I didn't.
Well, your kids are growing now. Right?
Oh, definitely grown. My oldest son, he has 2 kids of his own. I'm a grandma. And my middle son, he has 1 son.
What would you have told your kids? I mean, that you wish you had told them while they were growing up, but you realize that now?
For my daughter, more so, I wasn't really the one that was able to talk to her about boys and sex and all that. That was my sister's thing. She did that for me. But I wish I would have did that. I think that would have made me and her more closer. We are close, but I think that would have made our bond even closer. She's more closer to my sister when it comes to, talking about boys and all that stuff. I'm more closer to my boys. I could talk to them about girls and what you should and should not do with or with, to a girl and all that. It was easy on that aspect. But talking to her, it was hard for me. It was. I don't know why, but that was a hard thing for me.
So that's something you wish
that
you
was
had done
something I
differently
wish
as a
I would have
mom.
done differently as a mom. Everything else, though, my kids, we had, it was great. It was great. I really wouldn't change anything. They waited to have kids. They all graduated school. 2 of them went to college. 1 did not. College ain't for everybody. You can't make them go. I would not force college on anybody. Then they'd be miserable and drop out, and then you'll never see them. Who wants that?
You're absolutely right. 'Cause that happens a lot.
Oh, a lot.
You know.
Because what their parents is doing to me, what their parents is doing is they're putting on their child what they would have wanted themselves to be. And not every child wants to be a doctor or a lawyer, a football star, a basketball star. No, let that child. If the child is an artist, let them draw. If they're a singer, let them sing. If they like to play music, let them play. If they want to just sit on their ass, tell them to get a part-time job. I mean, that's just what it is. Excuse me, I did curse.
It's okay. It's okay. So, would you say it was easy for you raising your kids, or was it hard?
It's never an easy or hard thing. It's always an up and down thing because every day is different. Nothing never stays the same. Of course, we all get older. We all age. So as they're aging, things in their life change. They're either maturing or they're just not maturing fast enough for you. But maturity comes with time. You can't force it on them. It's just something that's within them. People always say, oh, you're 17 and you're supposed to act this way. How you know? That's their 17. It's not your 17. You can't make a person be who you want them to be. Let them be themselves. They'll eventually mature when it's time for them to mature. My son is 29. He acts 15 to me. But that's just who he is.
Okay.
I mean, it's just what it is.
I want you to give an advice, just in case we have some young people that will eventually be listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
An advice you would give to a nursing mom or a mother-to-be for between the age of 13 to like 17, because they're very young.
Yeah, okay. Being a young mom, because I was a young mom. I was pregnant at 17, had my son at 18. So being a young mom, it really depends on, for me, it depends on who your support team is. Because being a young mom, you have to have a support team. If you do not have people to help you through this, because you're a child having a child, you're still going to need that support. You're still going to need that love. You're still going to need that growth, because the child is still growing, and you got something growing inside of you. They're going to need to learn how to eat, how to take care of themselves, how to take care of that baby. All that comes in stages, and they cannot do that by themselves. I don't care if they have a boyfriend or if the baby's dad is still around, quote unquote. I hate using that word, but that's what they use today. For a young girl, they need to have a support team. If they do not have family, find a support group. There are plenty of groups out there. If you know you're not ready and you're scared of an abortion, there's always adoption. But if people are coming, and if you do want to have an abortion and people are coming at you in a negative way, you have to go to somebody that's going to support you, because abortion is not wrong. If you know you do not want the baby and you cannot take care of the baby, and you feel that if you put them in a system, that child will not be treated in the right way or whatever, do what you have to do. You know, it's only for your safety, your mental, because can't nobody tell you how to feel, what to feel, when to feel it. You can only do that on your own. And you don't want to do that by yourself. Even if you trust your doctor and y'all can have a personal rapport, do that. But never, ever, 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 as a young child, try to have a baby by yourself. It's super hard. I don't give a daggone who says it's easy, because it's not. We are not placed on this earth with finances. We are placed on this earth to get finances. We have to make our way in life. And a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, on up, I don't care. I don't think you're mature until you're 25, boy or girl to me. 25 and under, you still need the support of your parents.
That's me.
I'm serious. You still need the support of your parents. And if you do not have the support of your parents, find somebody that will support you in a positive way. Don't let nobody steer you in a negative way, because once you go down that road, it's hard to come back. It's the only advice I can give.
Thank you, Miss Tamika.
You're welcome, beautiful.
Quote of the day is change. Change is something that just doesn't suddenly happen. It's something that takes time, or something that happens over time. Change could be having a baby, an infant, turning into a toddler, and then a child, a teenager, into an adult. Change is all around us. It's just not us living life, but it's us determining to make a better life. But there's one thing, is that change can be made by anybody. Anyone can make a change. Love could be a change. Peace could be a change. Choosing to be somebody better than yesterday could also be a change. Many things could be changes around us, but it's up to people to make that change and to make it effective in their lives or in other people's life. Today, you can make a change. You can choose to be better, or you can stay the same. But regardless of whatever we human beings choose to do, change is always in place. Somewhere, with something, somebody in this universe. This is our inspirational quote of the day. I'm Praise Hopel. Introduce yourself to the people listening.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Cheryl.
Okay, Miss Cheryl. So, what age were you when you got pregnant?
I got pregnant when I was about 27.
27? That's a long time ago. I'm over 27. Okay, so what was the feeling you had when you first got pregnant?
I was excited, very excited, elated. I was ready to be a mom.
Sometimes you don't look in the mirror and be like, oh, there's a baby inside of me. You never done that.
Well, yeah, you do have that feeling, especially when you feel the first flutters.
Okay. So how many kids do you have now?
I have 2 daughters.
Can you tell us in details your experience about being a mom?
Yes, in detail. It's a very, very, very in detail job. You part with self. You consume being your children, not living their ideal life, but you consume their everything. You're responsible for another being in total.
So what do you love most about your kids?
The people they've evolved into, the people they have become.
Great, great. Well, I hope I sound well. Okay, so What is one thing that you've always thought that you could have done differently as a mother?
That's a long question. That one could go way down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
Maybe being a little stricter.
You feel like you could have been more stricter?
Yes.
Are you a strict mom?
I'm not a strict mom, no. I let my children be who they are, and sometimes you need to be a little bit more stricter to get the results.
What is one thing you've always wanted to tell your kids, but you never told them?
To be careful about this life and to weigh everything at first sight.
And to weigh everything at first sight?
To weigh everything at first sight. Because
Wow.
usually your first mind is your right mind.
Wow. Yeah. You know, sometimes that happens and people give doubts. Like, oh, what if? Oh, what if not?
Exactly.
But really, you already had the answer.
You already have the answer. So you got to weigh it at first sight, and usually that's the right mind.
Is there something you wish somebody had told you before you start raising a child? Maybe like how to properly raise a child or things that might happen.
Well, giving birth
It's hard.
is a hard job.
Yeah.
Yes. It's nothing like it. You'll never experience that pain again.
Yeah, my mom though, she said it's something like when you remember, it's like you can explain it.
Yes, you don't explain it.
Too
It's
much pain.
unexplainable.
Right.
It's a lot of pain.
A lot of pain. Okay, so there are a lot of kids now that are getting pregnant at a very young age. I've been discussing that with their parents. What is your opinion to a child, like maybe a 13 or a 14-year-old that just got pregnant? Young people.
Well, if I had to give advice to a young girl at that age, whether she would, listen is another ball game, another avenue or whatever. But I would just say to be sure when you're having sex that you're being protected, because children are going to have sex. So you would tell them to be protected and to find out who the person is and to introduce the person to your mother, your parents, and get mom and dad's advice first.
Okay, great.
Always be protected.
Okay. Can you tell me one of your favorite memory of your child or your children?
Yes, my oldest daughter, she is and still is very particular. She don't like to be dirty.
Okay.
And I tried to introduce her to Georgia Red Clay, and that was like I needed to dial 911.
She told you how to do that.
Not to put her in the dirt. She did not like the dirt, and she still doesn't like the dirt to this day.
To call 911 for what?
Yeah, but 911 was the over dramatization that she had from getting dirty. You know, 911 is your emergency contact.
Right.
So that's how she felt. I should call 911.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sheriff, for
You're
doing
welcome.
this.
Thank you.
Do you like to try out new things like organic ingredients, natural products, something without no toxication, no chemicals, just pure natural plants, herbs, or all kind of ingredients that are natural? At Hopex Market, giveaways, money, and many things that people can use for their skincare products. We are giving out right now, and we advise a lot of people to enter. Last month, we gave out to more than 20 people. Next month, we will be giving out back to school materials like books, pencils, things that students will need. We do give out to international students and people out of country, all over the world. We believe love can't just be in a place. It's something that has to be shared and known. From Hopex Market Company, our giveaway continues, and we encourage you to enter. You can win money, cash, so much more that you can win. So go to hopexmarket.com/giveaway to win something today. I'm Praise Hopel. Today I have Miss Melissa. How are you doing today, Miss Melissa?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm okay. So, do you have any kids?
Yes, I'm a mother of 3 children.
Three?
Three. I
Girls?
have a girl and 2 boys.
Oh, great. So, are you married?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell me your relationship with your children?
My relationship with my children. My daughter is 26. The middle child, Corey, he's 24. And then I have a 14-year-old, Isra. And my children are grown now, so it's a different type of relationship now. Now we get to enjoy each other's company. I go shopping and to lunch with my daughter. I can have different conversations with my son. I like to have an open relationship with them. They can come to me and talk about anything. So now right now they're in the stage, they have their own boyfriends and girlfriends, so it's, giving advice and, watching them grow in relationships. And my daughter, she works at a bridal boutique, so that's interesting with her. And my son, he was a banker and he's into investing. So they teach me a lot of things about their lives. So it's interesting.
Can you tell me your experience of being a mom?
My experience of being a mom? I'll say the biggest thing, no one could ever prepare you for what motherhood would be. It's the greatest experience in the world. It's the hardest job in the world. But it's wonderful. I love the children when they're like newborns to 5 years old. It's fun to see how their minds develop and grow, and they ask a lot of questions, and the innocence of it all. It's very nice to see them grow. And now it's nice to see them live life and enjoy life. And you have to, it's hard to let them grow, or should I say let them go, so that they can grow. But it's nice. I love it.
Would you say it was hard for you to raise a child, or was it easy?
I have very good children. I can't complain about anything. I had a wonderful pregnancies. When they were young, they're very respectful. I never had any troubles with them. When they got into high school, just a little bit, but no trouble with the law, no, I'll say I had it easy as a parent. So I was very blessed in that sense. They're not very defiant children. My youngest son, he has special needs, so my older two have always been a great help to help raise him, because he requires a lot of time and energy. But we do it as a family, and that's what makes it special.
What is your favorite thing? I mean, when it comes to your children, what is your favorite thing that makes you remember them? Every time you see something, then you remember your kids. What is it for you? Or maybe you just don't have one. Like something that you see?
Something that I see.
That you see or you hear, and makes you remember your children, or how they act, or their character.
I would say nothing in particular, but I love to take photos. I have a lot of photos. My family is from up north. Their father's family's from down south. So usually when we go on vacation, we take a lot of photos, and that's what I love to look at the most. That would remind me of good times and special times.
What is your favorite time of the year? Christmas? No?
When I was young, it used to be Christmas, because I come from a large family, and we would spend Christmas Day, or we go to church Christmas Eve with the family, and then we spend Christmas morning with my mother's family, Christmas dinner with my father's family. So it was an all-day event, 24 hours of family and fun, and that was the best part of it. But my favorite time of year, I would say, is spring. I love new birth. I love the green trees. I love flowers. So I love it when everything is in bloom.
My mom loves flowers.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were pregnant, you mentioned something about your pregnancy was great. Mm-hmm. Tell me that. How did it feel? I've never been pregnant. So.
They say They say the pregnant glow. I was very fortunate. I didn't have morning sickness. I just felt great. The only thing, I always was hungry all the time. That was the only thing. If you didn't eat on time, then I felt a little sick. But you get a lot of attention because you're pregnant, and like you say, it's something new. Your body goes through a million changes. You learn a lot about yourself, and it's the miracle of birth is just amazing to me that someone could create such a perfect. It really is a perfect symphony how the whole birth process happens. Everything that happens, in sequence, that's amazing to me. And to hold that little baby in your hand when they first come out is the most amazing feeling you'll ever have.
Do you remember when your kids called you mom? Do you remember, like, the first one? No?
No, not particularly. I think my daughter said dad first. So, mommy always comes last.
Comes last, really?
Yes.
I never
So
knew
that's
that.
something you have to deal with. But yeah, no, it's fun. And any words, just to hear them talk, it's cute. And I love that stage when they're learning
Kids
like
are
that.
beautiful.
Yes.
I never heard of
How
them.
many would you like to have?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, it's expensive nowadays. I have 3. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I love a big family, but I couldn't imagine more than 3.
Can you tell me an advice you would give to somebody that's between the age of 10 to 18 and got pregnant, unfortunately? Or what advice would you give to a boy that's between the age of 10 and 18 that got somebody pregnant? What would you tell them to be ready for fatherhood and motherhood? What would be the advice that you would give to them?
I would say with my first daughter, the thought that came into my mind is once I had her, that life is never going to be the same. You're no longer the primary person. Once you have a child, their needs come first, and that's what you have to prepare your mind for. When you're a teenager and at that age, life is all about me, 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 me. But as soon as you have a child, that me, me, me goes out the window, and you have to be prepared to do everything and everything for that child because they're priority now. And that's the hardest thing, I think, when you're going through those teenage years, it's hard to give up, going to the mall, hanging out with your friends, being on the phone all day long. You can't do that, when you have a child. Your responsibilities change. So that would be the hardest, I think, the hardest adjustment.
All right. Thank you, Miss Melissa.
You're welcome.
Hopex Natural, a company owned by Hopex Market, has been helping people all over the world with skincare problems such as eczema, acne, and so much more. If you'd like to try out skincare products with vegan, natural, organic, non-GMO ingredients, you can definitely visit HopexMarket.com. They have body butters, body scrubs, and so much more that works for different types of skin and all skin type. If you're trying to get away from chemical intoxication, Hopex Natural is the go-to. So visit Hopex Natural at HopexMarket.com. Today I have Miss Anne-Marie. Miss Anne-Marie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. I'm a mother of 6. I have 4 boys and 2 girls. 3 are older, and my eldest daughter is just off to college. I'm very proud of her. And what are your questions you'd like to know being a mother?
Okay. You have 4 kids. You have 6 kids.
I have 6 children, yes.
4 boys and 2
4
girls.
boys and 2 girls.
Can you tell me your experience about being a mom, raising your kids?
Well, being a mom is a great experience for a woman. Any woman that can conceive a child. And to be a mother is just a wonderful experience. I have 2 different generations of children. I have my 3 eldest sons. One is 28, 27, and 25. And then I have an 18-year-old, 11, and a 9-year-old. So it's a big gap with my children. However, it's beautiful because the three eldest one, they get to bond really well with each other. And once again, I was a young woman, married very young, and had my first three children. But I did have good parents that helped me. And it worked out very well as I got older and more mature. Having my other sets of children is just amazing because you're much mature. You understand a lot more about life and what it is to raise a child, because it takes a village to raise a child, not just you as the parent.
Okay, so tell me some favorite things about your children that you love.
Oh, my favorite things about my children, I say they're all different. They all have different personalities. You know, my three eldest, they like to cook. I like to watch them play sports. They're into sports a lot. None of my eldest children are married as of yet. I would love to see that. But they do have significant others. And my eldest daughter, she's big with sports and she loves marketing on the business side. So I like to watch her doing that. Being my husband have his own business, so I tend to see that falling on her and my second oldest son, because they both drive to that part. They're driven to that area. My little ones, for me, I just love to watch them, especially now in the kitchen. I'm teaching them how to cook. So that's like a challenge for me, and they also enjoy doing that.
What is your opinion when it comes to young people getting pregnant? Like, what do you think causes it to happen so often in this generation?
Well, for a young person to get married in this generation is very hard because most parents right now is much younger, and a lot of the grandparents really don't want to help out with the child having a child at that young age. And also, it's not really good to have a child too young, because being a single mother is very hard. I've seen it within my own family. So for me, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know what could cause it. It could be, sometimes I couldn't even say it's the upbringing, because sometimes you could bring a child up, in a good environment, in a good home, and they just make the wrong mistakes.
What would be your advice to young kids that are getting pregnant, and what would be your advice to young boys that are impregnating young girls?
My advice to young girls nowadays, right now, is to just try and focus on what you love. Try and get yourself involved in, activities, whether it be sports, church, music. You have to stay busy and try not to interact too much with the boys, I would say. I mean, you can have friends, but keep it to a minimum.
To a minimum? What do you mean? Okay, like to a stage that you don't let them take advantage of you?
Exactly. You can't let somebody take advantage. You have to know your worth as a woman and as a child. And as a parent, you have to instill that in your child at a young age and just let them know and understand what can happen and how having a child at an early age can change your life, because now you become a parent. So all the stuff that you would want to do as a young child, some might be able to do it, but some might not able to do it, if you don't have that family support. If you get what I'm saying.
I understand. Like you're saying, okay, it's okay to make mistakes, right?
It's
but you're
okay
saying,
to make mistakes, but you can learn from your mistakes. Even if you came from a broken home, you can look at that and let that be your strive to want to do better and achieve more out of life, versus just want to just get up and have a child and being a single mom and the struggle that comes along with it. Now, there are plenty of single moms that triumphant over all that and really succeed and have a wonderful life. But then you do have some that don't have the help or the support, and then it becomes like a stigma. Like generation after generation. But
right.
if you are a person of God and you truly believe in what you want and what you can achieve, you can accomplish anything in this world.
What are you most proudest of your kid?
Well, I'm proud of my kids for their achievement as one. They're good, honest children. They never gave us any trouble. And they're loving children and they love God.
God. Nobody has mentioned that, guys. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Anne-Marie.
You're welcome.
Hopex Market, a company that runs in the clothing world and makeup and hair and so much more, such as the brand Hopex itself and Hopex Clothing, Hopex Blog, Hopex News, and Hopex Everything. Hopex Market runs a blog, a news line, a joke line, a reading line, a poem line, and so much more. You can go to Hopex Market and get discounts, free shipping on everything that you buy. Hopex Market is a giving company. They donate every month. Hopex Market does giveaway every month. And they give to people all around the world, wherever you are. Hopex Market has different things from your skincare products, like your hair, your body butters, which are all organic, no toxications, and no chemicals. If you like to enjoy or have fun, Hopex Market has something called Pexi. It's a social media platform where you can go and meet people all around the world. At HopexMarket.com. Every order that you purchase are free shipping, which means you pay no money for any product that you buy. Everything is free shipping. And they have coupons and discounts every now and then, which works great for me and for anybody else. So, if you'd like to know more about Hopex Market, go to HopexMarket.com. This episode on being a mom, part 2, has really helped me again. Even though if you haven't listened to the first part, you probably want to go back and listen to it. It also talks about different moms saying how much they love their kids and the experiences they have being a mother. This episode have helped me with the people that I just finished interviewing. They let me realize that life sometimes can bring changes, and kids has to do with that. Love was part of the theme that helps me to understand how mothers feel about their children. Being a mom is not just caring for a kid, but also just living a life. I don't want to say a double life, but a life that everybody else doesn't live if they haven't had a child or children before. This episode has helped me to understand that perhaps maybe one day I will have a child of my own. But to all mothers out there, new moms, moms that has already been moms and moms to be, I hope this episode helped you to understand and encourage you to understand things that you will go through as a mom, or maybe even less or more. But whatever the road or wherever the road takes you, I hope it helps a lot of people to understand the process of being a mother. So, as usual, our podcast is every other Thursday. By 6 p.m. we have new episode every other Thursday. So come back again. Thank you for listening to Hopex Podcast. And praise Hopel.